Welcome to your Ethereum news briefing by ethdaily.io. Here's your latest for Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. The Rinkeby Testnet reaches its end of life, Spark Protocol plans to increase its DAI debt ceiling, client teams introduce a new field for data gas calculations, and the validator queue wait time for staking surpasses 32 days. All this and more from ETH Daily starts right after this message. Voting for ENS small grants is now live. If you're an ENS token holder, please vote for ETH Daily in this week's small grants round by visiting ethdaily.io/ENS. In accordance with the Ethereum testnet lifecycle, the Ethereum Foundation will end support for the Rinkeby Testnet on Wednesday, May 31st. Rinkeby is a Geth-based proof-of-authority testnet that was launched in early 2017. Most infrastructure providers ended support for Rinkeby late last year, ahead of its end of life this quarter. Developers are encouraged to deploy on the Sepolia testnet, as Goerli is the next testnet scheduled to be deprecated. The Ethereum Foundation aims to deploy a new testnet every 2 years, with a maximum testnet lifetime of 5 years. Core developers are currently working to deploy the Holski testnet by the end of this year. During this week's EIP 4844 implementer call, core developers agreed to introduce a new field called data gas used in the execution payload. Currently, normal gas calculations use the base fee from the current block header, while data gas calculations for blob transactions use data from a parent header. The new field aims to align the computation process for normal EIP 1559 and data EIP 4844 gas calculations. Developers also discussed DevNet 6, a testnet environment for Dencun EIPs. Client teams requested an extra week to implement the new data field, among other changes. Ethereum Foundation protocol support engineer Tim Bako suggested a spec frozen 4844 exclusive DevNet, followed by DevNet 7, and then testnet deployments if no major changes occur. A proposal to increase the D3M debt ceiling on Spark Protocol is now open for voting on Maker governance. The proposal seeks to increase the DAI debt ceiling by 15 million DAI on MakerDAO's lending market. Sparkland reached its maximum debt ceiling of 5 million DAI as users took out DAI loans at a 1.11% fixed interest rate. If approved, the debt ceiling for DAI on Sparkland would be increased to 20 million DAI. Voting is also open for another proposal that seeks to increase the DAI savings rate from 1% to 3.33%. A rise in the DAI savings rate also affects interest rates on Sparkland, which uses the DAI savings rate rather than the utilization rate as a basis for the borrow interest rate. Sparkland allows users to borrow DAI using Ether, Wrapped Ether, WSTETH, SDAI, and USDC as collateral. According to data from Block Analytica, Sparkland holds over $16 million in supplied collateral, most of which consist of wrapped STETH. The DAI Direct Deposit Module, or D3M, is a special DAI vault with a fixed borrow interest rate. The validator queue wait time for staking on Ethereum is now over 30 days in length. According to data from validatorq.com, over 75,000 validators, representing roughly 2.4 million Ether, are currently in the queue. There are currently 593,000 active validators securing the network with 19 million Ether at stake. There is also close to no wait time for exiting a validator from the network. And lastly, Uniswap released version 1.6 of its mobile wallet app. The new release includes an updated onboarding flow, support for scanning QR codes, and a fiat on-ramp via MoonPay. The Uniswap mobile app was released for all iOS users in April and supports swaps on Ethereum, Polygon, Arbitrum, and Optimism. This has been a roundup of today's top news stories from ETH Daily. You can support this podcast by subscribing and following us on Twitter at ETHDaily. Also subscribe to our newsletter at ethdaily.io. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.